خد him.
Khamzat Chimaev stirred the MMA world when he gave his take on the upcoming clash between Islam Makhachev and Della Maddalena at UFC 322. The undefeated Chechen powerhouse, now ruling the middleweight division, was confident about how things would unfold in Madison Square Garden.
Jack or Islam? Well, Islam will get the and Jack will the My asking he coach brother wait what he gonna say, we'll see. Your opinions?
5% od Maddalenas.
O, Islam doktor je zvedno.
Della, jest sam problem.
Hitno. Coach says 55% Maddalena, 45 Islam, but I think Islam, we'll see. Both good fighters. Islam moving up, it's interesting to see what's he gonna do. But I think Islam will be more, he's gonna use his wrestling more in this fight.
Makhachev's decision to move up in weight has been one of the biggest storylines leading up to UFC 322. The Dagestani star left the lightweight belt behind after a dominant run, and now has his eyes set on conquering a second division. The fight against Della Maddalena, however, is anything but a simple setup. Maddalena's takedown defense has already been tested against some of the best wrestlers in the world, and although Islam's grappling is considered a level above, the Australian champion's composure and timing could make this one more competitive than people expect.
He's good striking, his boxing is very good, you know. That's why he's one of the best in the world. His wrestling not so good, but he good in the ground. He know how to defend, how to escape, how to get up, you know. He good, but I have something more. I saw his wrestling just not good. A lot of guys take him down. He feel good in the ground. I can choke him.
Makhachev's wrestling is elite. Few can argue that. Bilal Muhammad, one of the division's best pressure wrestlers, could only manage 3 takedowns against Maddalena, and Islam's relentless chain wrestling could easily double that. Moving to welterweight might actually suit Islam's style. At 170 pounds, his speed and endurance are expected to remain intact. Maddalena, on the other hand, thrives in clean, technical striking, preferring to keep opponents at range. But that range could also vanish if Makhachev closes the distance and initiates the clinch. The Dagestani champion has also promised that fans will see more than just wrestling this time around. Over the past few years, Makhachev has shown flashes of a striking game that continues to evolve. His knockout win over Alexander Volkanovski proved his growing power, and in his battle with Dustin Poirier, he outlanded one of the UFC's most respected boxers. Makhachev's striking confidence has soared to the point where he plans to showcase it in full.
Islam Makhachev is going to be fighting Della Maddalena. How do you think those two match up?
I think Jack's fight against Bilal was a perfect fight for leading into that. Just purely, you take a lot out of stop and takedowns, because again, there's every fighter's still going to have little doubts that are going to creep in. You know, I'm sure Jack was going through that, being like, all right, like, you know, worried about, you know, what if he takes me down and all that. But the fact that he was able to stop it and feel so comfortable, I guarantee you he's leveled up again. His confidence in his takedowns has just went up significantly leading into this fight. I think his confidence is going to be at a whole nother level. So through camp, like, I guarantee you if he's back in training right now, people trying to take him down are going to find it almost impossible. You know, only the top guys are going to have a chance of taking him down, and they're going to have a very hard time even holding him down.
Meanwhile, Maddalena isn't shying away from the pressure of facing one of the most dominant fighters in UFC history. The Australian is not only embracing the challenge, but almost hoping the critics downplay his potential win. He's aware that many might call it a victory over a smaller opponent, just as Makhachev once dismissed the idea of fighting Ilia Topuria for similar reasons. But for Maddalena, that's the narrative he wants. If people say he sent the pound-for-pound #1 fighter back down to lightweight, that means he's done his job perfectly. In his first title defense, Maddalena welcomes Islam to welterweight with full respect for his accomplishments. He understands the significance of this matchup, calling it the biggest challenge of his career. Even though Islam hasn't fought at 170 pounds before, his resume speaks for itself. An incredible win streak, multiple title defenses, and the reputation of being the most dominant fighter in recent memory. Maddalena believes this gives Islam every right to chase the opportunity.
In general, how would you rank his stand-up if it were to stay on the feet?
I think he's got good stand-up. He's a well-rounded. He throws it all, elbows, knees, kicks, punches. He's got power, southpaw. it's a tough fight, you know. I definitely don't look at him as just a grappler. The fight isn't just keeping it on the feet and it's going to be easy. The fight is pretty much, the whole fight is a tough fight. One of the best martial artists in the world, you know. So there's no, I definitely don't look at him as just a grappler. I think his strength is obviously in the grappling, but it's still a tough fight on the feet and I've got to make the right decisions, and I think I've got the upper hand on the feet.
Still, Maddalena isn't backing down from the idea that this fight defines legacies. A win over Islam Makhachev would add enormous weight to his growing name. Makhachev's 15-fight win streak and near unanimous ranking as the top pound-for-pound fighter make him one of the biggest names in the sport. For Jack, defeating someone with that kind of resume isn't just about keeping his belt, it's about building his own legend. Fighting Makhachev in New York City for this first title defense feels like destiny to him.
Do you expect Islam to try and strike with you, or do you think that his game plan might try and take you down?
It's hard to expect anything, you know. I definitely feel like he will test the feet, you know. I think it's going to start on the feet and we'll go from there. But yeah, I think he's going to try and mix it up. I think he's going to probably try and get on the wrestling early, I'd imagine. Looking back on the Belal fight, he probably sees that Belal's mistake was maybe not getting on the wrestling early. So yeah, I expect in the first round we'll be getting to some, at least some grappling exchanges, you know.
The stakes for Makhachev are equally massive. According to Michael Bisping, a win at UFC 322 could cement his place among the all-time greats. By claiming the welterweight title, he would become only the 11th fighter in UFC history to win belts in 2 divisions. Not only that, he'd tie Anderson Silva's legendary 16-fight winning streak, an achievement that would solidify his name next to icons like John Jones, Georges St. Pierre, and Demetrius Johnson. Bisping acknowledges that the context of those wins might differ. Silva and GSP's streaks included long reigns of title defenses, but he believes that Makhachev's consistency and dominance across 2 divisions would make it impossible to leave him out of the GOAT conversation. Even if he doesn't surpass those legends in title defenses, what Islam has accomplished already places him among the elite.
Greatest fighters in MMA history: George St. Pierre, John Jones, Demetrius Johnson, Anderson Silva. If when I listed that off with a win here, I said Islam Makhachev, would that feel right to you, or would that feel too soon?
See, the thing is it doesn't sound right, and maybe I'm being a little bit maybe I'm not giving him his credit there. When you look at Anderson Silva, his second fight in the UFC, he became the champ. Beat Chris Lieben, then he beat Rich Franklin to become the champion. So the majority of those 16 wins were title defenses. So that's a little different. When you talk about John Jones, there's a lot of title defenses in there as well. Same with George St. Pierre. I'm certainly not critiquing Islam Makhachev's career. I'm not nitpicking and discrediting it at all. Yeah, I mean, listen, if he gets the job done, I think without question, he deserves to be in that conversation.
If he can defend that belt a couple times against a Sean Brady, against a Shavkat, against any of these super high level welterweights, I think we're having conversations about him being top 3 or number 1.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. If he can beat Jack, and again, it's a big if, but if he can beat Jack and go on a run and defend it 2 or 3 times, it's insane.
Carlos Prates, who also competes on the same card, praised Jack's maturity in those moments. For Prates, this fight isn't just about technique, it's about mental control. He believes if Maddalena can stay composed for all 5 rounds, he has the potential to drag Islam into deep waters and edge out a decision victory.
The main event is also in your weight class, JDM and Islam. Who do you think is going to win that?
I think the favorite is Islam, but Jackie show like he grew up a lot as a fighter. Since his top fight now, he was a long time without fight, almost 2 years, and he got really good skills to fight Belal Muhammad, defense takedowns. So I think he's gonna win.
You think Jack is gonna win?
Yeah.
Wow. Do you think he wins a decision, or do you think he stops him?
I think decision is really hard fight.
You think Islam stays at 170 or he goes back?
If he loses, I don't know. It depends how he feels during the fights. How close is gonna be the fight,
Gilbert Burns offered a more balanced opinion. Having faced both divisions' top fighters, Burns thinks Makhachev might actually benefit from the move up. Without the grueling cut to 155 pounds, Islam could perform with sharper focus and better endurance. But Burns also warned that Maddalena won't come in unprepared. with submission specialist Craig Jones, the same man who helped Volkanovski prepare for Islam, leading his ground defense training. Jack will be ready for every grappling exchange. Burns expects this fight to resemble a chess match more than a brawl, where every move could swing momentum.
Islam is working very hard. He's been saying vocal that he wants to go up to 170. I think he's a big boy. He killed himself to make 55. I think that's the right division for Islam. He just tweeted something after the fight that he will not vacate the title, and then he vacated the title. I don't know, but probably that was in the negotiation. Yeah, I like him moving up. I proving himself. He's number 1 pound for pound right now. It's a good fight. Jack and Islam closer than people think, especially with Jack Della Maddalena doing a lot of training with Volk, with Craig Jones, those guys that kind of back the Islam on that first Volk fight. I think they're going to have a lot of info, a lot of study, a lot of answers. It's closer than people think, this fight. I really like this fight. I don't have time right now. I didn't have time to dig deep a little too much in that fight, but I think it's way closer than people think. And JDM has a clear shot on beating.
Stephen Thompson isn't entirely sold in Maddalena's readiness. He recognizes Jack's talent and rapid rise, but wonders if the timing might be a little too early for such a high-stakes matchup. Thompson, who has faced some of the division's best, knows how steep the jump is from contender to champion-level fights. He suspects that Maddalena might be stepping into deeper waters than he realizes, especially with fighters like Shavkat Rakhmonov and Ian Gary waiting in the wings.
Who do you think wins that fight between Islam and Jack Della Maddalena?
Well, first off, I gotta say, if I was Shavkat Rakhmonov or Ian Gary or somebody that is right there who's really worked hard to get there, I'd be pretty pissed. Because, you know, this guy, JDM, just got the title, and then he's giving somebody else a shot at what I've earned the right to have, you know, which is the title shot. Like, give JDM a shot at, you know, give him 1 or 2 more guys. If he beats them, then give him somebody outside the division. But I would be kind of pissed. I would be kind of upset that they're giving this guy immediately somebody from 155 division. Now, I think it's a very tough fight for Islam Makhachev. Bigger guy. Somebody who won the title from somebody with a similar style in Bilal Muhammad. Mm-hmm. I do believe Islam Makhachev striking is a lot better than Bilal Muhammad's, but their pressure, their cardio, their wrestling background, fairly similar. Obviously, I think one would be better than the other, but he's faced somebody a lot exactly like him. So I think it would be a tough fight for Islam for sure.
On the other hand, Steve Urseg, another rising Australian, couldn't be more confident in Maddalena. He called Jack's performance against Bilal one of the greatest by an Australian in UFC history. For Urseg, Maddalena's calm demeanor and precision striking reminded him of Dustin Poirier's success against Makhachev, except with heavier hands. He believes that combination of patience and power could finally expose weaknesses that no one else has managed to exploit.
Yes, I mean, I've known for a very long time that Jack is an amazing fighter. He's really good, and he shocked me on how good he was. Like, he handled the grappling exchanges so well, and it's the best striking performance I've seen from him. Like, he just, like, the big moment, like, he rose to the occasion. It was, like, fantastic to see, and I really do think I do think that the grappling from Islam, like, he's a better technical grappler than Bilal is, but he's not quite as big. He's not as imposing. And yeah, if you look at the Dustin Poirier fight, Poirier was able to stop some of his takedown and win some scrambles and stuff like that. I feel like not only will Jack be able to do that, but when he lands punches, it's going to be way more devastating.
Max Holloway approached the fight from a more cerebral point of view. He sees this matchup as a mental chess game between two of the smartest fighters in the sport. Maddalena's ability to make split-second adjustments during fights could be a key factor. Islam, known for sticking to his game plan with robotic discipline, will have to adapt if Jack starts reading his patterns. Holloway expects a tactical war, where one small adjustment could flip the entire fight.
Your thoughts on Islam moving up to welterweight?
I think he'd be fine, man. I think he'd be good, you know. He's number 2 pound for pound in the world. You gotta respect that, but don't sleep on Jack. I think it's gonna be a tough fight. Jack is one of the best fighters in the world right now, and when that match happens, I'm hearing rumors maybe October. I think it's going to be a fun fight, smart fight, but a lot of people counting out Jack.
Robert Whittaker naturally supports Maddalena. Having competed across middleweight and welterweight himself, Whittaker knows how much difference a few pounds can make at the elite level. He believes Jack doesn't need to completely shut down Islam's wrestling, just disrupt it enough to stop the fight from becoming a grind. If Maddalena can keep his back off the cage, stay balanced, and make Islam respect his punching power, Whittaker sees a real possibility of an upset.
As you can be.
Because
yeah.
I think Jack has that X factor. I think he has the gut, the grit, the determination to fight the takedowns, to fight the ground, the takedown attacks that Islam is going to go for. And I think in a striking fight, straight up, Jack is better. I think he wins in the hands. Yeah. I think Jack's got the better game to strike over 5 rounds than Islam does as well, especially if Islam is trying to go for takedowns during the fight. I think, and this is people sleep on Jack's grappling game. They sleep on his jiu-jitsu. I don't think Islam is going to be as gun-ho with the takedowns as everybody believes, because Jack has that level of offense off his back.
Beneil Dariush also believes this fight could be risky for Islam. In his eyes, the higher weight class changes everything. Against opponents of similar skill, physicality becomes the deciding factor. Dariush feels that Maddalena's size, strength, and pace could overwhelm the Dagestani if the fight goes long. While he still respects Makhachev's intelligence and patience inside the cage, he suspects that Jack's relentless pressure might take him into territory he's never faced before.
Islam versus JDM. Do you still favor Islam in that matchup?
I'm going to lean now towards JDM. I feel like the size will make a difference. Cardio-wise, JDM has great cardio. Maybe I'm wrong, but so I just feel like JDM.
Sean O'Malley sees the bigger picture. For him, this fight is about legacy more than belts. The winner could open doors to massive future fights, potentially even with rising superstars like Ilia Topuria. O'Malley pointed out that Maddalena thrives in chaos. If he can stuff a few early takedowns, the fight could quickly turn into a wild striking battle where anything can happen. He sees this as the kind of matchup that could explode into back and forth chaos if Islam can't impose his control early.
Islam relinquish his belt and go up to 170. Got JDM taking on Islam Makhachev.
I still think Islam's skill for skill is just so high level. For him to go out there and do what he did against Bilal was very impressive, made that Islam fight more interesting. If JDM can shut him down and throw those hands, but Islam's boxing is underrated. That dude is slick. His kickboxing, his timing, he's a high level black belt in every aspect of MMA.
Big belt. Who give him that?
Jack versus Islam, I think, is huge. Not as big as Ilia versus Islam, but who knows? Maybe they both win and Islam comes back down to 55 and the fight's even bigger.
Finally, Merab Dvalishvili analyzed the fight through a wrestler's lens. Having built his career on pressure and persistence, Merab believes Makhachev still has everything needed to claim the welterweight crown. He studied Jack's previous fights carefully and noted how Belal Muhammad struggled to land consistent takedowns. For him, Makhachev's superior control and positioning could make the difference in fight night.
Islam, he's moving up to 170. Do you think that he gets the job done and wins that title, or do you think JDM retains?
It's gonna be hard for him, but it's possible to Islam Makhachev wins the second belt. JDM is great fighter, great striker, but Islam is tricky. He has a good wrestling. He's southpaw, he don't get hits, but he takes people down and he balls people down. And also we all see the JDM Belal Muhammad's fight, and then I'm sure Islam will take lots of lessons from this fight and Islam will make some adjustments. It's possible, it's gonna be hard, but Islam can win the second belt.
As the build-up to UFC 320 continues, the opinions remain split. On one side, Islam Makhachev stands as the pound-for-pound king, aiming to make history. On the other, Jack Della Maddalena carries the confidence of a champion ready to prove that size, composure, and striking precision can topple even the most dominant fighter alive. Whether it's Makhachev's wrestling mastery or Maddalena's crisp boxing that prevails, one thing is certain: the fight at Madison Square Garden is shaping up to be one of the most intriguing battles in modern UFC history.